To start up this jacket tutorial, we are going to start our drafting from the back pattern. So for the back pattern, you are going to make your border lines on the vertical and on the horizontal. After that, you are going to rule your chest line. I'm using 8 inches, your waistline, and then your hip line and the knee line. So here is the shoulder, the chest line, the waistline, the hip line, your knee line, because this is a long jacket. The neck width is 3 inches and my shoulder divided by 2 is 7.5 inches. I'll place 7.5 on the chest line to get a straight line for the armhole. Then come down by 1 inch. Connect my shoulder slants and connect a straight line to the chest line. I'm going to find the midpoint of what I have on the arm side and go in by 0.5 inches. I will connect a straight line to form the armhole. To complete the armhole, I'm taking my measurement of my bust divided by 4. So you mark your bust divided by 4, then you connect. Next, you come over to the waistline, measure your waist divided by 4, waist circumference divided by 4 and mark. Add 1 inch of your dart. Then I'm going to connect what I have from the chest line to the waistline. Next is the hip line. You measure your hip circumference divided by 4 and mark. Then we are going to connect from the waist to the hip line. Then I'm going to take what I have on the hip line measurements. I will take it to the knee line measurements and I'm going to mark on the knee line measurements. Then I'm going to come down by 7 inches because the length of this jacket is actually long. I'll come down by 7 inches and draw the full length line. So after that, this is my full length and I'm going to take what I have on the hip line and mark on the full length because I want to get a straight line. Next is to add 0.75 inch of an ease. This is a jacket, so we usually add ease on our jacket. So I'm adding 0.75 inch, which is 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to connect those lines accordingly. I'll go ahead and connect my ease of 0.75 inch. So after connecting the ease to my jacket, we are going to go over to mark out the dart line. So this is my ease. So before the dart line, I will go over to the hem line because I want to make an extension. So I'm making an extension of 3.5 inches because I just want this jacket to have an extension. You can also leave it the way it is. It can be fitted, it can be extended from the waist. So I'm going to mark from the waistline. I'm drawing a straight line that goes all the way to that 3.5 inches extension. So just use a straight ruler so you'll be able to get a very straight line on that point. So I'm just redrawing my line and I'll take off this other one I made in error. So you take your bust span measurement, divide by 2. Your nipple to nipple measurement, that's what I'm connecting on all the lines. I'm going to use it to form my waist dart. So I'll go in by 1/2 inch on both sides and then come up by 1 inch above the chest line to form my back waist dart. So I'm going to connect my back waist dart accordingly. So after connecting my back waist dart, I will now draw a straight line, which is my nipple to nipple measurement, all the way to the knee line and on the hem line. And I'm going to draw a straight line down. Next is to divide your shoulder into 2. From that 3 inches width, you mark your shoulder, divide it by 2 and connect to the 1 inch. So at this point you can hold your dart. If you don't need a dart at the back, you can make a princess dart, but we are going to connect a shoulder dart at that point. So after connecting the shoulder dart, we are going to blend up that part. Don't make it sharp, just blend it a little bit. The neck depth for the back is 1 inch, so I'm going to connect the 1 inch to the 3 inches. And then we are going to contour the waist line. So but take the measurement of that neckline, because we are going to use it to construct the collar at the front. So I got 3.5 inches. Take note of this 3.5 inches. Next is to contour the center back. So I'm going to come in by 0.5 inch, just 0.5 inch. Connect to the neckline and then connect to the hip line. So I'm going to cut off this part. Then I'm going to replace the 0.5 inch on the side of this jacket. So I'll connect from that point to the chest line, and I'll also connect to the hip line accordingly. So now I'm going to blend that part with a straight line. So just place your straight ruler and blend it into the extension. So it's time for me to cut. We'll start drafting the front piece right now. So first thing is to come in by 6 inches. We'll be using the 6 inches we came in with for the construction of the lapel. So I'll draw a straight line at 6 inches all the way down. After getting that point, I'm going to rule my chest line. The front has chest line, bust point, waistline, hip line, knee line, and then I came down by 7 inches for the full length, just like I did at the back. So I'll just go ahead and draw the line accordingly. Next is to take the measurement of the neck width. So on the shoulder line, this is my shoulder line, my chest, bust point, waist, hip, knee, and full length line. So now this is the center back. So I'll take the measurement of my neck width for the front. So the neck width for the front, so I was thinking the break-even point will be at the waistline, but I later changed it. So the neck width is 3 inches. I'll mark, and the shoulder divided by 2 is 7.5. I'll mark 7.5 on the chest line, come down by 1 inch on the shoulder line, connect my shoulder slant, make a straight line for my armhole. I'm going to get the midpoint. Then I'm going to come in by 0.75 inch for the arm side and connect accordingly. Take your bust divide by 4 and mark to complete the armhole. After that, we are going over to the waistline. But before that, the neck depth is 3 inches. I'll mark the neck depth accordingly. Next is the waistline. I'll go over to the waistline and take the waist measurement divide by 4. Then I'm going to mark it and add 1 inch for my waist dart. I'm going to connect accordingly. Next is to come over to the hip line and divide your hip by 4 and mark and connect from waist to hip. Then I'm going to take what I have on the hip line. I'll take it to the knee line and mark. I'll take it to the full length line and mark, just to get a straight line. So I'll draw my straight line all the way down accordingly. So next is to add my ease of 0.75 or 3/4 of an inch all through to the down piece. Then I'm going to connect the lines. So this line is the ease for the jacket. So it's good to have some ease on your jacket so the jacket will be free, not too tight. Jackets are not meant to be so fitted to the body. There should be an ease to it. So I'll add the extension of 3.5 inches, which I added at the front, and then connect all the way from the extension on the hem to the waistline. So the next thing we are going to do now after adding the ease is to go in with nipple to nipple measurement, divide by 2, just to get the waist dart. So I'm going to connect those points from the bust point to the hip line, and my waist is 1 inch. I divided half an inch for my waist dart, so I'll connect that accordingly. After connecting that point, I'm going to get the midline of my shoulder and connect to the bust point. Then after we are done with that, I'm going to extend my dart line to the hem. So once I'm done with that, I'm going to add my pepper to the upper piece to create the collar. So for the collar right now, I'm going to get the break-even point, and I'm using 22 inches for my break-even point. So I will mark 22 inches point and connect it to the neckline accordingly. So I will come out by the width of my neckline for the back piece. If you remember, I told you to take note of 3.5 inches. So from the shoulder right there, I will mark that 3.5 inches, and that will be our collar line. Next is to place your ruler diagonally and mark half an inch backwards. So this half an inch will help the collar to relax very well. So you use your curve ruler and curve it in to the neckline. Then place it diagonally again and get the width of your collar. So I took 3 inches for my collar width, and from that 3 inches I kept marking 3 inches, 3 inches, like that till I got to the bust point line. So I'm going to draw that 3 inches to the bust point line and stop there. Now I'll now go over to the break-even point where we have our collar, where the collar is stopping, and I'm going to measure 4.5 inches at that point. So I will draw 4.5 inches with a straight line, and then I'm going to use my ruler to blend it in. So I just thought of using the other ruler. I think it's blended it in the way I want. So I use my other ruler and blend it in. So here is the collar right now. So but I just thought of making a little adjustment. The collar width was 3 inches, but I looked at it, I felt using 2.5 inch would be better. So I now marked 2.5 inch on the collar line, because that part is really, the collar there is really small. So just to get the exact effect we have on the thumbnail. So after marking 2.5, I now marked extended 5 inches. I now extended the collar at 5 inches, so that curvy part will come out very well the way I want. So I inverted my ruler to get this shape. So I think what we have right here is better than the other one. So I'm using a red marker to make that part prominent. So we have gradually come to the end of the construction of this jacket. This is a long jacket, and it's actually looking very beautiful. So next is to start the cutting of the front jacket. After cutting, I tried test running the collar, okay, on the break-even line. This is exactly how you are going to have this collar. It's going to be cut together with the fabric, and the extension will go to the back as the collar. That is the center back line. So you can see what we have on the collar. Next is to separate the dart. So we have two pieces of it. So I'm going to label F1 and F2 for each of them, then make my marks on the bust point, so when connecting them I'll match the lines very well. So here you can see our collar is ready together. So we are going to add half an inch for the seam allowances, and on the side you add 1 inch. So that is how to go about this beautiful long jacket with shawl collar. So this shawl collar is actually stylish. It's a square shawl collar, unlike the ones we usually make. So you are going to use a crepe fabric or use a quality fabric for the lining, so that when you turn the collar will actually show very well. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye.